Okay, I got interrupted there. I just did a little bit of the number crunching for that missing angle or side length A, and it works out to be 24.5, setting up a similar law of sines ratio. Anyway, this last one here on this page is definitely suspicious because it goes A, B, B. Anytime you see them going not A, B, C in some form of number or angle, you've got to be suspicious. So this is an angle and then side, side. So the question is, if I draw it fairly accurately, I'm going to get really suspicious that this might not even work at all. And you really have to ask yourself, what is that gap going straight down? If I take my calculator and I type in sine of 83 and then multiply that times 10, I will see that that gap is 9.9 and 7 is not going to cut it. So this is no possible triangles. And that makes it easy. Once you rule that out, you can smile and go on to the next problem. If on the test, however, this is not 83, suppose it's only like 23 degrees, and now you've got a little sliver of an angle, and this is 10, and when you do that gap, it's going to be much smaller, and it's going to hit over here at 7. If 7 is larger than that gap, and 7 is less than 10, which it is, that means it's going to swing over here and hit a second time, and you'll get two triangles. In that case, you're going to have to solve for both of them. Solve for the smallest angle first, and then work through all of the possibilities. And that can take a while. And there'll be examples. I'll try to find a Khan Academy example and show you that there rather than do it here. Okay, the last page is about one of these boats sailing 45 miles at a bearing of 50 degrees. That's north. So it's going to go slightly below halfway. Call that 50 degrees. And it goes for 45 miles. And you are the captain. You receive a warning that a storm is approaching. Oh dear. And you have to sail at 200 degrees. Well, that now is north. That is south. 200 degrees is 180 plus 20. So you're now sailing in this direction for only 10 miles. So you're right there. We'll say that's 10 miles. And that's another 20 degrees beyond 180. So if this is 50, then this is 50 as well because of alternate interior angles. There's your parallel lines. These angles are the same. But that's 20 less. So if this is 50, then this is 30 degrees up there. And you just got to do that math. Then the question is, how far is it home? So I'm going to redraw that simply. Whoops, badly, but simply. There's 30 degrees, there's 45, and there's 10. And you're just going to do a law of cosines to solve for that opposite side. So that's going to be x squared is equal to 10 squared plus 45 squared minus 2 times 10 times 45 cosine then of 30 degrees. Alright? So x squared is going to be 100 plus 45 squared is 2025 minus 2 times 45 is 90, 900 cosine of 30. Cosine of 30 is radical 3 over 2.86. So now I've got x squared is equal to 2125 minus, let's do, clear that, times 900, and that's negative, and add 2125. Okay, so it's 1345. X squared equals 1345. That was 779. And when I square root that, raise it to the 0.5, I get 36.7. So x is equal to 36.7 miles, I think it is. Okay, so that's how far it is back, but we want to know what the bearing is. Right now, that's north again, and so that's going to be 20 degrees beyond north because it was 20 degrees, that little sliver right there is 20 degrees after the 180. I had to go 20 more to make it 200. and so that's south. So I'm going to go all the way around to that angle. So if I can solve for this inside angle here, it's getting a little bit cloudy, but if I can solve for that angle, I can work out the bearing. So that angle, let's see, I know that that's 30 degrees up there. Let me solve for this angle first, because I don't like solving with law of sines for an angle that's more than 90 degrees. So if I set up a law of sines, so the sine of, call that theta, over 10 is equal to the sine of 30 over 36.7. I'll be able to solve for that missing angle. So sine of theta is going to be equal to, let me get the calculator going here, cosine, clear, sine of 30 is 0.5, I don't need to type that in, 0.5 divided by 36.7, and then times that by 10, and it's 0.13, so I do inverse sine of that answer, and I get only 7.8 degrees. So you could round it to 8 degrees, but I'll call it 7.8 degrees. So if that's 30 and 37.8 degrees, so that's going to be, let's see, 142.2. So that angle right there, let me simplify this a little bit. I'll enlarge it. If this here is 20 and the whole thing is 132, then this is 112.2 degrees. So my, from north all the way around to here, is going to be 360 minus that. So 360 minus 112.2. So a bearing of 247 degrees. So how far is it back home? 36.7 miles. The bearing will be 247.8 degrees. Alright, I went fast. Hope that made sense.